Hello everyone, I'm Reena Augustine. You're watching Community Impact. My guest today is Connor Adams, the Senior Associate from Aurum Private Wealth. Hello Connor.
Hi Reena, thanks for having me on.
Thank you for accepting, and today I'm sure we're going to share a wealth of knowledge about 132 visa to our viewers. So tell us a background about yourself.
Yeah, so basically I'm born and raised in Brisbane, Australia, so worked across a couple of different companies in the finance industry, Citibank, Bendigo Bank within Australia, and recently started at Aurum Private Wealth. Have really found myself having a bit of an interest in the migration space and some of the solutions that can come from that. So yeah, it's really interested, and obviously yeah, keen to share a few sort of ideas and share some of the solutions we have as well.
Why migration?
Yeah, very good question. So I think it's something that came from personally. I have always been a bit of a traveller, always been interested in geography, and also attempting to learn certain different other languages apart from English. So I have dabbled in trying to learn Mandarin Chinese, for example.
Wow.
Which ended up kind of tying into meeting a lot of different people from all over Asia and specifically Asia, but all over the world. And that sort of meant that, I found myself, hearing what they needed, hearing what they were interested in, and also hearing about sort of their journeys from perhaps through Asia onto Australia.
So what is your exact role in Aurum Private Wealth?
Yep, so yes, title is Senior Associate. So essentially I'm going about looking after clients that may be looking for a solution to come to Australia for the betterment of both Australia and their own life. And that's where what I'll be discussing today, the 132A business talent visa and the solution that we've come up with at Aurum Private Wealth. We focus on servicing clients, answering any questions, and trying to take the pain out of the process that can come and any pain points that do come from attempting to migrate here. Yeah.
So I actually saw that there is a special scheme, if that's the right word I have to use.
Yep.
So if you can talk a bit about it, would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So the scheme is based on the government's a government-supported scheme that essentially is attempting to seek investor funds from outside of the country to service a much-needed part of Australia, which is the NDIS and NDIS accommodation for some of the most disabled Australians. Currently, there's 28,000 Australians that aren't properly serviced under this scheme, and the government has made it, open this up to migration or people looking to migrate as sort of a catch-22 in terms of solving two problems at once. Obviously, investing in the 132 visa to eventually become an Australian permanent resident, while also servicing the large shortfall that comes from, unfortunately, comes from different disabled Australians.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your company is associated with the...
Yeah, so we're fully, accredited and licensed to provide those solutions to clients, working with the NDIS, approved property developers, seeking properties, and also with the SDA, which is Specialised Disability Accommodation, to ensure that the solutions that are being provided to clients are approved and are acceptable for their needs.
So migration is a very, very wide scope discussion. We can take that. So when we talk about NDIS and the special scheme and the 132A visa, is that a particular field that we are touching, or is it can we include other visas in it?
Yeah, so at this stage it's specific to the 132A. I'm sure. I'm sure the government is always sort of re-looking at migration and how to seek migration to Australia. So I think it would definitely be something that's branched out on. But at the moment, we've really started to operate in a niche that is in solving the 132A visa, and yeah, trying to kill two birds with one stone in terms of ensuring that clients can find a viable investment option for the 132A or the 132A business investor visa, as well as sort of solving a problem that's sort of, with the government sort of being proactive in solving a problem. Yeah.
So why is the government doing this?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So it's actually been recently written into legislation. So this isn't something that's sort of, a short-term government scheme. It's actually been fully legislated. The government has sort of, noted that there are something like 28,000 Australians who may find themselves not fully serviced for their disability needs. A good example of that is perhaps when a young person may be involved in an accident of some description, and rather than having specialised disability accommodation, they can often find themselves in aged care facilities, which obviously don't cater to their needs, and obviously don't provide a good result overall. And can also lead to sort of a huge demand on that part of the sector. So there's definitely a scope for the basically saying the government's identified this problem, and there's a roundabout solution to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When did this come into effect?
Yep. So it's been phased in two parts, one in 2013 and one in 2016. Mm-hmm. So it's now sort of passed through, and we're able to come to you today with sort of, varying solutions on actually adapting and providing potential clients a way to, migrate into Australia.
Mm-hmm. So, Connor, you said that you like traveling and you traveled a lot of places. Migration wasn't your background, if I'm not wrong.
Definitely more of the finance and private banking.
Yes. Okay. So you have a team that looks after the migration part, but you are the finance part.
Yeah. Exactly right. We work with, a wide variety of migration agents. Obviously, migration agents and migration lawyers. They can come in different specialities, and we can kind of offer our expertise to that. What we found was that obviously due to licensing, and I'll be the first to say I'm no migration agent, so it's similar with migration agents not being able to provide financial opportunities or financial investments to their clients, just purely because it's not in the client's best interest, and obviously there's no licensing for that. So that's where we found the niche. We basically found that there was an opportunity where these clients were wanting to come through the 132A visa channel, but weren't actually offered weren't able to identify a business or somewhere that they wanted to invest in Australia, and it opened it up to clients just being confused, and obviously more work in the sector for migration agents and such. So that's the service we offer, and what we can say is that we basically offer the alternative to investing in a startup, for example, or other businesses that might not be in the client's best interest.
Yeah, that's great. So do you take into consideration the regional areas or anywhere in Australia?
Yeah, there's certainly. So with the NDIS housing, and I guess the solutions that's provided, they generally are tailored towards more regional and less populated areas.
Mm-hmm.
So most commonly you'll see them amongst Queensland is a big one, anywhere from Gold Coast to Sunshine Coast and west to Ipswich. But also you can find solutions in South Australia, Tasmania, probably the next most common. From there, other states are viable and are available, but there's probably just not as much of a demand and not as much of an easy flow-through process from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So out of all the 5 places, main states, which is the most important, and lots of people flooding?
Yeah, Queensland.
Queensland?
Yeah. I'm biased because I'm, like I said, a born and raised Brisbane boy, but it's definitely, it's very cliche, but you've got the beaches, you've got, and now with obviously unfortunate travel restrictions, also found myself exploring more of my own state, heading up to North Queensland, planning to do that later in the year, so see the beautiful Port Douglas and Magnetic Island and everything like that. So there's a lot that it can offer, and a very relaxed lifestyle. If I seem relaxed right now, it's probably because I grew up in Queensland.
That's amazing. Yeah. Actually, you're right about everything about Queensland. It's so huge and so many beautiful beaches. Yeah. When I was coming to Australia, the first thing my friends were saying is, "Oh, you're going to Gold Coast." I'm like, "Okay, no, I'm going to Brisbane." Then I found out Gold Coast is amazing. The whole of Queensland is amazing. Yeah. So people are flocking to Queensland now.
We're only about 40 minutes drive from it here, so we are very lucky.
Very lucky.
Can duck down on the weekend outside of business hours and soak up the sun. It's coming into summer, so good time to do it.
Fantastic. Connor, I want to know a quick recap of when a client walks into your office, what can he expect from you?
Yeah, absolutely. So if a client walks into our office, obviously we'll greet them. That goes without saying. But basically, we'll be able to service them in a way that we can leverage off our partners that we work with. We've got qualified partners, and be able to advise and consult them on different business opportunities and opportunities to fulfill their needs, which in most cases will be to look at migrating to Australia and in the 132A business investor stream. So that's generally what we do. We do have some referral partners as well, if they, anything from sort of looking for schools to universities to anything like that. We want to make it as easy as possible for them to actually, become one with Australia and move into Australia.
So you help a whole family to settle down here?
Absolutely, yes. We have done that on many occasions. So we, definitely finding schools can be overawing even for sort of average Australians. So if we can take that out of a new migrant of ours, take the trouble out of that, then we're more than happy to do that.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Connor, in the end, I would like to ask if you could want to share something to our viewers.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're always happy to have a chat to anyone who might be interested. It is something new, and we're all about educating. So, if anyone likes to reach out, my details will be in the video link. So, feel free to reach out and ask any questions, whether it's WhatsApp or WeChat. We're pretty flexible, and we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you so much for joining, Connor, and it was a pleasure having you.
No worries. Thank you, Reena. Much appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be joining next week.